Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to be talking about how do we make subject of the formula when the formula has a fraction, all right? Okay, so when making the subject with formula having fraction, so how do we go about this? And there are some important skills you need to know here. You need to know how to do cross multiplication. I also need to know how to multiply both sides or having common factor denominators or things like that. So it's very important that you can go back, you can make sure you rehearse the cross multiplication and make sure you understood it and know how to cross multiply. And it's very important here. And also, you need to also remember that whatever you do to the left-hand side of the equation, you have to do the same thing to the right-hand side of the equation as well. Is that okay? All right, so let's get cracking now. Before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you've not clicked notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please click on it so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so I'm going to go straight and pick some examples here and play around with this so that we can solve some questions. So similar to the last video, we have here that we need to make x the subject of the formula. So make x the subject of the formula in each of the equation, in each of the following cases. Okay, so we're told to make x the subject of the formula. All right, so the first one we have x over a is equal to b over what? C. All right. Now, in this question here, you can solve it using two ways. You can do cross multiplication if you want to, or you can do multiplying both sides, okay? So you can do cross multiplication. Or you can multiply both sides. So the reason why I always use two methods or more than two methods is that so anyone you're comfortable with, it does not really matter. The key thing is that you get the right answer, all right? Or you multiply both sides. So the cross multiplication, we're going to do that. So you're going to have x over a is equal to b over c, all right? So cross multiply, we have x that is going to multiply c will be equal to, we're going to have a multiplying what? B. So we're going to have xc is equal to ab. And then to get rid of the c, we divide both sides by what? C. So this will now cancel out. And therefore, you're going to have x is going to be ab over what? Over c. Okay? And that is that. Now, but if you want to use the second method, multiplying both sides, so you have x over a is equal to b over c. Now, to get rid of this a, this fraction, I'm going to multiply here by a, and I'm also going to multiply here as well by a. Are you seeing it? Then this is going to cancel that. So we have x is going to be a times b over c, and that will give you what? ab over what? C. Or if you want to put it in the right form here, it's still the same thing. You can say b times a over c, and therefore you can now say x is equal to what? ab over what? Over c. And that is that for that question. Okay, let me pick another one. Number 2. So we have 1 over 3x plus 2b is equal to what? 5c. All right? So 1 over 3x is the same thing as saying x over 3, right? Plus 2b is equal to 5c. So now, in order for me to get rid of this 2b now, I'm going to subtract both sides by minus 2b. So we have x over 3 plus 2b, all right? Then we now have minus 2b. It will be equal to 5c. Then we have minus 2b. Are you seeing it? So that means 2b cancels this out. So you're going to have x over 3 is equal to 5c minus what? 2b. Now, to get rid of this 3, I have to multiply both sides by 3. So that means if I multiply this by 3, I have to multiply this by 3. I also have to multiply this by 3. And then this is going to give us 3 multiplied by x over 3 is equal to 3 times 5c minus 3 times 2b. Okay, so this 3, we cancel this 3 here. Then you have x is going to be equal to 3 times 5c. That will give you what? 15c. And minus 3 times 2b is going to give us 6b. And that will be the answer for that. Okay, so you can see whatever you do to the left-hand side, you do exactly to the same thing to all the variable on the right-hand side as well. All right, let me add 2 more examples, okay? Please go back to the worksheet. There's a lot of examples you can play around with. So let's assume we have number 3. We have a minus x divided by b is equal to what? C, all right? The same thing, you can either use cross multiplication or you multiply both sides. So I'm going to do both of them, okay? If you want to cross multiply, so that means, so in this example, let's use cross multiplication. Or second method, I can decide to what? Multiply both sides. So any method you're very comfortable with, please feel free to keep on using that. So cross multiply, so we have a minus x divided by b is equal to c divided by 1. So remember I told you there's an invisible 1 there. So that means you now have this in a bracket to make it a single unit. So what you do is going to be b multiplied by x. So it's going to, sorry, b multiplied by c. So it's going to be b multiplied by c will be equal to a minus x multiplied by 1. So it's going to be what? A minus x multiplied by 1. So this is going to give us bc is equal to a minus x. Now, to get rid of this a, we subtract a from both sides. So it's going to become b minus c minus, so you subtract a from both sides, minus a will be equal to a minus a minus x. Are you seeing it? So a cancels this. So you're going to have bc minus a is equal to minus what? X. Now, we are looking for x. We're not looking for minus x. Is that making sense? So what you now do, we're going to multiply both sides by minus 1. So multiply this by minus 1, multiply this by minus 1, multiply this by minus 1, okay? So we now have minus x times minus 1 will give you x. Are you seeing it? bc times minus 1 will give us minus bc. Minus a times minus 1 will give us what? Plus a. And that will be the answer for that. Are you seeing it? Or if you are like me and you always like the subject to be on the left-hand side, you can say this is the same thing as x is equal to minus bc plus a. Or you can say a minus bc. So they're exactly the same thing, okay? Okay, they're exactly the same thing. All right, let's go back to when you're multiplying both sides, okay? If you are asked to multiply both sides or you prefer that method, all right? So we're having A minus X divided by B is equal to C. So to get rid of the B, I'm going to multiply both sides by B. So I'll multiply this side here by B, and I'll multiply this side here by B. Are you seeing it? So this B will cancel this B. So we have A minus X is equal to C times B. It's going to give us BC. Okay. Then to get rid of the A, I'm going to subtract A from both sides. So it's going to be A. Then we have minus A. We have minus X is equal to BC. Then we have what? Minus what? A. So this A is going to cancel this. So we're going to have minus X is going to be BC minus A. So you can see we have minus X. So to remove the minus, we multiply through by minus 1. So we multiply this by minus 1, multiply this by minus 1, multiply this by minus 1. So minus X times minus 1 is going to give you X, will be equal to BC times minus 1 will give you minus BC, minus A times minus 1 will give you plus A, and that will be the answer for that. So you see, it's exactly the same thing we had here as well. Are you seeing it? It's exactly the same thing we had as well. All right, then that will be that for that. All right, let me just pick one more to just summarize this video. All right, I'll just pick one more. Then I'm going to go to the next video. So let's this number 4. So now I'm going to just use one method here. So we have A minus X divided by X is equal to 3B. Okay, so I'm going to just use one method. You can use the other method. So in this case here, I'm going to use multiplying both sides. Okay, let's use multiplying both sides. Let's make it more interesting. Okay, so to get rid of the fraction, so you multiply both sides by X. You multiply this side here as well by X. Okay, so you multiply this by X. Okay, so this X will cancel this X. So then you're gonna have A minus X is equal to 3BX. Okay, then the next thing, I'm going to bring all the X together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add X to both sides. Okay, so it's going to become A minus X. Then I'm going to add X will be equal to 3BX. Then I'm going to add what? X. So you can see, so this will cancel this out. So you have A is going to be equal to 3BX plus X. Now, the reason why I had to do it is because I needed all the X together on one side, okay? Because it's going to be very difficult for you to make a subject when you have what you need to be on its own on both sides. So you can see now I have my 3BX and my X together on one side. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize. I'm going to take common factors. So you can see what is common here. So we have A will be equal to, what is common here is X. And you're going to leave you with 3B plus 1. Are you seeing it? So you have 3B plus 1. Now, the next question you have to ask now is that if you have 3B plus 1 at this point, what do you then have to do? Then you can now say, all right, I need to get rid of the 3B plus 1. So that means I'm going to divide both sides by 3B plus 1 so that the X can be on its own. So 3B plus 1. Are you seeing it? So that means the whole 3B plus 1 is going to cancel this out. Then we're going to have A over 3B plus 1, okay, is equal to X. Therefore, we can say X is going to be A over what? 3B plus 1. And that will be the answer for that. Okay? All right, so that is that. I'm going to go to the next video, and we're going to talk about how do we make subject of formula with brackets and fractions. So now in this case, not just only we have fractions, we have brackets and fractions. So how do we go about it? So it's very important that you make sure you revise the video, solve more questions from the worksheet, solve more questions from the textbook. And if you have any question, please let me know, and I'm going to respond to you as soon as I can. All right. So see you soon, and we'll see you in the next video.